In the studios of 94.3 Radio 1, one with a splendid soul and one whose work on the screen is better than marvelous. It's Rajshri Deshpande. Thank you so much for coming to the studios today. So glad to see you after what, 3 years? Easily? 3 to 4 years now?
More than that, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
3 to 4 years. And in 3 to 4 years, she's already set up 4 schools. And this is around the area, the region of Aurangabad, the place she comes from. Her roots are from Aurangabad, I believe. Yeah? So it's not just being on the screen that she loves to do, but she also likes to kind of touch people's lives through her social work. Rajshri, when I first heard about it, and this was where I met you when Angry Indian Goddesses was being released and you were doing the rounds with all the other girls for
Yes.
promotions.
Yeah.
And you said you always wanted to do something and give back to the place you come from. And you started off with, meeting people, meeting the villagers there
Yeah.
first, and then moving out. And of course, you were following your dreams at the same time of being a first-class actress. I must tell you, Trial by Fire, I loved it, binge-watched it. It was very difficult to watch because it was so painful. And then you, towards the end of it, read that she's still struggling or she's still continuing to bring people to, justice. And that was so hurtful. But I guess to bring that on screen, to take it to people itself was a very strong message that I think through the series you were trying to make, the entire team was trying to make, and you did justice to your role. So that journey, from the time I first met you to now, life has changed a lot for you, hasn't it?
Nothing has changed. I think I still remember during Angry Indian Goddesses time, I was working on that was my first village, and I was working on a groundwater. And then you said, we should talk about it later. And after 3 years, I built a school, and that time I met you.
Yes.
Around 2018-19, I guess, I met you and we discussed about it. And here we are today with, a series which talks about fight. Series talks about struggle. Series talks about inspiring people, empowering people. That's the show I'm part of. I'm really glad that I'm still there, with my social and even, on-screen work.
Right.
Yeah, saying the same thing.
The kind of films that you've picked to do, whether it was even Sacred Games for that matter, it was a challenging role. Every role I think that you've picked and has come your way also has been challenging, and they can't think of anybody else but Rajshri to do justice to that role. How do you see your trajectory so far in the industry, in cinema, so to speak?
Yeah. Annie, everyone says that I do very bold and challenging and, very strong characters. But I always feel that we all are strong people. We all are flawed. We all are complex. We all fail.
Right.
We all like to kind of hustle, like to do something. So we all have that kind of a shade. So what I'm portraying on screen is actually the real people.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that, the filmmakers, creators, casting directors sees me that I am that real person who they want to be part of,
Right.
So be it, playing Ismat Chuptai to Subhadra in Sacred Games or, S. Durga in the Malayalam film.
Yeah.
Or, Angry Indian Goddesses or a Fame Game where I played the Shobha Trivedi, the police officer, or now, Trial by Fire, Neelam Krishnamurthy. So everyone is different.
Correct.
Everyone have a different shades of life.
Yeah.
They're lived a very different kind of a life. They come from a very different social strata, and but everyone have some other journey which needs to
be told,
showcase to the people to be told. And I'm glad that I am the medium through that. I'm kind of a telling people that look at these women. Look at each other, what we have so many things to, showcase on screen and be,
more confident and continue inspiring everybody, for sure. And then you also take time out for yourself to, slaying it not only on screen but in the area of social service where you believed right from the beginning. I think something that you hold very close to your heart from values that your parents have taught you is to give back to where you came from and to just give back to people who need, especially the ones who need, who don't have the kind of privileges you're enjoying today. And so to give them that education, to give them that reach, and to also give them that platform. So whether it is setting up schools or even today looking after 30 villages, that is not a small number. How did you manage?
I don't know how I'm managing. It is very difficult. Like
Yeah.
initial, when during the Angry Indian Goddesses time, I was struggling a lot because I was also learning a lot of things, and I was also kind of unlearning a lot of things. And see, I come from a family and where we didn't had that kind of a facilities, and we didn't had that kind of a support to do anything in our life. My father was a farmer, my mother used to work, and then during that their struggle, they just asked us to kind of focus on education, and they thought that this is the only thing which will take you anywhere. So their whole focus was get ourselves educated and follow a protocol of life, like graduation, naukri karo, shadi karo, bacche paida karo, then you're settled. In all of that, I decided to break somewhere and do something, because I felt that I don't want to follow what everyone is following in this space. And because I grew up in such a space where art was always part of my life.
Okay.
Though it came in a very different space. Like, nobody in my family is from, who's an artist. But shayad kabhi, my father loves to play this thing, flute, but not like he cannot think of doing anything in that, because for us it was supporting the whole family.
Correct.
So I had to break away from that and do something. And for doing the social work is because when I see my childhood, when I see my family, my distant cousins and everyone's childhood, and I feel that I wish we had certain things in the villages. And so I look back, I see we don't have water in the villages, we don't have schools, good
Correct.
schools in the villages.
Correct.
We don't have healthcare in the villages. So during I was in Nepal after the earthquake, I realized that there is so much I have to do even in my home ground also. So that's the reason, that's the journey started.
Yeah, that's
And,
beautiful.
I don't think so I will ever stop, because that's become my skin now. Acting is become my now second skin, because acting depends upon what kind of roles I'm getting, what kind of people I'm working on. So that has become like, I have to choose what I'm doing.
Oh,
I
okay.
cannot do anything and everything, because today's world, there's so much is happening. There are so many online streaming platforms, but everyone is not kind of making sure that the content is going right on this it's unfortunate that the writers are getting very little time to actually kind of do a good project. So because the studios and everyone want everything like a Maggi noodles, like 2 minute, 2 months writing, 2 months shooting, 2 months post-production, 6-7 months everything has to go on floor. It is so
The pressure
difficult.
is
It is a pressure,
real, huh?
So how will you even expect a good content on screen? So in that, I feel, if as an artist, it's my responsibility what kind of text I'm getting. Is it good? Is it written well? Are the team good? Are people sensitive during whatever subject they want to talk about? Are people sensible enough to portray something like this on screen? So then your choices becomes lesser and lesser and lesser.
Right.
And then when you ask questions, people don't like that. Like, why it's like that? Okay, no. People want like, okay, whatever you have, just do it and But for
follow
me,
orders and
but
then
for
give me the results.
Yeah, but for me, it's passion. I love acting. I love to, sit
Bring a
on
character to
scene.
life.
Yeah, so that's exactly I want to do. But I cannot be part of a Maggi noodles. That's not healthy.
But I like the concept or the term she is using to, come up or to kind of, project the things that may not necessarily be good as far as content is concerned in the industry. So, choice of films or choice of the kind of work that you want to do, whether it is on an OTT platform or the big screen, it's nice that at least as women we have that choice, or any form, any gender for that matter, has that choice. Do you think it's good enough progress we've made, or it should have been better?
See, honestly, maybe today I can say I have choice.
Yeah.
But it's not the case for everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone is not in that privileged position that
Correct.
okay, they can say, okay, now
I can
whatever
choose my
I'll choose
projects.
and all. No, everyone wants to pay their bill.
Correct.
Everyone wants to follow, because it's unfortunate that we have a certain things like, okay, you do a social media thing, or social some reels will put you in front. There's so many things.
Right.
People think that that's the kind of a formula, which I personally feel that no, that's not a formula to kind of
It's not something that is
get it.
reliable and sustainable.
Yeah, but you never know. Like, our industry works in a very different space.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, so I don't know, but I feel that I want to do work which I believe in. So even if I'm slow, I'm fine. Even if I get lesser work, I'm absolutely okay, because I was never a part of a social media bandwagon. So, but there is Prashant Nair, who trusted me, my director of Trial by Fire, whom I've hardly met. So there is a casting director who didn't cast me with my followers. He casted me because he
Fit the role.
auditioned me, and they after auditioning me for long, they thought that okay, I fit the role. I worked hard for that. So there are some good people. There are great creative people who believe in craft, and I keep telling all the young actors who wants to be part of this, even all, not just actors, even the technician also.
Correct.
Just don't go for something which is easier. It will
And
maybe
trending,
put you-
because it's
trending,
short-lived.
because that's not a formula. There is no formula at all. What you have to do is what you have different. What you can give different to the art field. As an actor or as a technician also, how you can make something different and better, and something which it's never done it before.
Yeah.
So how you work hard towards that, you prepare yourself. Rest will follow. Your fame will follow, your your follower will follow, you will be known, whatever it is, that will follow. But don't forget
What your passion is.
Your passion is. Don't forget that you have to keep working on your craft.
Yeah.
Meeting people, and that's separate. But Annie, I feel really, really sad. Today's world has become like, everyone thinks that making reels will make us,
This is controversial.
yeah. They're not controversial. I love watching reels.
Yeah.
I'm not denying that. But that's not the only thing. That's
Correct.
the only feel I like, and I want to keep telling the young people, or a lot of people, they think, that this is what it is.
The reels will act as auditioning tapes, and that will get them some work.
Yeah, I don't think so, because when you're auditioning for a part.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
reels are a very different space. I tried reels; it's so difficult. Oh my god! I think making reels is the most difficult part, and acting for a character. I can work on a backstory. I can work on everything for a character. How the person will walk, how the person will talk, how the person will have hair. But when it comes to reel, I cannot match the thing. It's very difficult. Like, really, salute to people who actually make the best reels. But when it comes to portraying a character, it has a different journey. You
Yeah.
cannot when you work on a reel, it has a different journey. But when you work on a character, it has a very different journey.
Yeah.
You have to go through, how you know the character, how will you develop the character, how
Correct.
will the physical, mental, and psychological space of that person. You have to work on all that.
Yeah,
Because otherwise, what happens? There are many people, the way they act in reels, exactly the same thing they will act in.
Or do in whatever character they're asked to do.
character they're
It's very superficial.
Yeah, but that's the reason you have to work on it.
So Korea, why are you going to Korea for a film festival? I mean, I know there is a new project. Tell us more about it.
So this is a film called Privacy.
Uh-huh.
It's been directed by Sudeep Kanwal.
Okay.
He is from New York,
Uh-huh.
but his roots are from India. So so he made it's his debut film.
Oh, okay.
And so when he had contacted me, this is he contacted me saying that this is the story about this girl who's a surveillance operator, and her journey.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, I was reading the script, and it talks about, of course, she has a pattern of a psychopath.
Oh.
Sociopath, basically, sociopath and psychopath. She's in the middle of that.
Wow.
So it really like kind of interests me.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yes, this is it. And then what happens when you have such people who's working in these kind
In
of
regular
spaces?
environments, huh?
Yeah, like surveillance.
And the next person doesn't know you're a sociopath.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And so, and especially a CCTV camera operator. Imagine what that person can do.
Yeah.
So, this was an interesting story about this girl Rupali, this where then
So
what
it's a
happens
thriller.
with her.
So it's a
Yeah,
thriller.
kind of a
Wow.
thriller, yeah.
Wow. Amazing.
So I love portraying such complex characters.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think
Did you have to go through certain? I mean, I know you had to go through preparation because you have to get into the head of that character first to prepare yourself.
Yeah.
To see how they behave, how they move, how they talk, how maybe they perceive things around them to be able to put that on screen. But then after you get into that character and then come out of it, do you take time out for yourself? Because it's difficult. You've got to switch things, the wiring in your head. How does that happen?
Yeah, it happens with me. Even even Privacy Ho, even Trial by Fire.
Correct.
It was very difficult to get out of that characters because I am kind of playing with my brain, making sociopath over there because if I'm portraying like a person from Privacy who is a sociopath, and a person like Trial by Fire, Neelam Krishnamurti, who is fighting this case from past 25 years, how her brain will work and how her brain will work are two different people, and then I continuously play with my brain.
Wow.
So I like a lot of times people say that we switch off very easily, but I can't. I think I'm still learning to switch off from my characters.
Oh my God! So it's a process. Do you have sort of after you complete a film, or even when you're in between films? I think that is so difficult.
Yeah.
How do you take time for yourself? Do you have a routine that you follow? Like you sit with yourself, you meditate, or you talk to someone, maybe a psychologist, a counselor, or just a friend.
Yeah.
Do you do things
no,
like
I do all of this.
Yeah, okay.
I do all of this, but my social work gives me a lot of peace. Of
Groundedness, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm
of course,
sure.
I meditate. I talk to a psychologist. I kind of follow a particular routine because a healthy actor is always important.
Yeah.
To portray anything.
Correct.
So you have to have at least a minimum routine every time whenever you're in the character, out of the character.
Wow.
Otherwise, if you're not fit physically, you won't be able to play with yourself.
Correct.
Because you go through so much.
So many changes,
so
yeah.
many sequences that it will hurt you badly. So you have to find that healthiness inside you, like a meditation process or like I dance also sometime. So I like to get out of my things out of from my system is through this.
Nice.
And even the village work also, it gives me a lot of peace, though there is chaos on ground. But when I go there, I feel that I forget all my characters and I'm there with those people.
Correct.
Yeah.
So important to do it. Important to do it. Did you meet Neelam herself personally? You have?
Yes, but after the
series.
After the series, yeah. So before our.
What did she have to say about it?
So just before the release, we met. We had a basic. First was a Zoom call, and then we met personally. And she was just looking at me, and because I was like this.
She was trying to find herself in you.
Yeah. And she said, "How did you, kind of find me?" And all her friends said that we felt that it was Neelam over there. So it was a great compliment from her and from all her peers. So I think I tried to kind of
Yes, you did. Yes,
yeah.
you
But
did.
it was a huge responsibility. I'm portraying someone whose fight is
Still on.
It's still on, and I think I have to. I respect all my characters. I feel that their journey has to reach out to people, and that's the reason I make it more and more real.
Correct.
So you cannot be the character, but what we have to do is we have to at least reach that space where it becomes skin for you. And yeah, so that's the reason it is more like, it is on in my eyes then.
Yeah.
She's
Quick fire questions. It's called the quick fire round. Are you ready for this? Very controversial. It's going to be so controversial. Okay.
It's okay. I'm used to controversial questions.
The very first one. Top 2 favorite actors.
Oh God. Like, really. Jessica Chastain from Scenes of a Marriage, or Tammy, or I like Olivia Colman from many of her projects. I love Viola Davis in a couple of projects. I love Gary Oldman, a couple of his projects. Jacqueline Phoenix or Matthew McConaughey, or so many are.
Lovely. I'm good. If you have to tick off 2 places on your bucket list, which ones will they be?
See, I have to go to Brazil actually.
Okay.
Japan I've just been, so I know. Brazil is one, and I want to go to see Northern Lights.
Oh, okay. What inspires you about Brazil? What is it that is taking you to Brazil? What do you want to see there? What do you want to explore?
I think the people, the color, the culture, just
It's so
travel.
vibrant.
It's vibrant. It's different, actually. Whoever has been there, I feel everyone have a different stories, and very few people actually go there.
Have been there.
Yeah,
Yes.
so
Yes. That is sweet.
Yeah, so I want to go where the crowd doesn't go. I always travel the opposite side.
Right.
And like,
Right.
matlab,
You like to carve your own niche, and I think you're doing a wonderful job of that in everything you do, anyways. If there are 2 things your parents taught you that you really hold very close to your heart, what are they?
hard work and be honest to yourself.
Nice. Nice. Very nice. And the last is, are you a morning or an evening person?
Morning.
Thank you so much for spending time with me, and thank you so much for all the good work you have been doing, both for your career, both for your craft, as well as the other part where you're giving back to society. Thank you so much. You are an inspiration, and please be like this.
Okay.
94.3 Radio 1.